Here we go!
How's it going, everybody? Player E Collins back here again, aka Player EC. As you guys know, I am a huge fan of the Super Mario franchise, and in particular the Mario Kart series of games was my very first introduction into discovering the iconic plumber. In a video last year, I discussed my experiences with Mario Kart Wii, and despite that entry being the very first game in the series to try out, its DS entry truly provided me a full Mario Kart experience for the first time growing up.
Mario Kart DS was the fifth installment into Mario's beloved racing series, just following the unique GameCube entry of Mario Kart Double Dash, while also becoming the second handheld game to succeed the Game Boy Advance's Mario Kart Super Circuit.
I have a long history growing up with this Mario Kart, so I'm going to discuss the first time I discovered and fully fell in love with the game.
Over 15 years ago, I was first introduced to Mario Kart Wii through my cousins' family, as I got to play their Wii with them during many visits at their house growing up. In my past Mario Kart video, I did mention playing other Wii games with them too, but Mario Kart was the first game that I got to try out. A few months later, as a Christmas gift, my parents did pick up our own family Wii packed in with Wii Sports, which was the only game I played casually at the time, as I didn't develop a strong passion or awareness of Mario or other Nintendo games yet. However, things changed when I got my first Mario Special Edition DSi the following Christmas in 2010, packed in with a little gem to play. Mario Kart DS truly influenced my passion and love for video games, while Mario Kart Wii was also influential for introducing me into the Mario Kart franchise and Nintendo. DS made my love for the series grow even more, being the first one to own and fully play growing up. Also, my love for this game brought me more awareness of other types of Mario games to play throughout the rest of my childhood, creating the massive fan I am today. Despite being my very first DS game, I unfortunately lost the cartridge, resulting in getting a replaced copy here. The only reason I decided to keep my original black case was for nostalgia and looks on my DS shelf. Also, not long after that, my original DSi sadly stopped working too, resulting in getting a nice replacement months later, with Mario Kart DS still being one of my top games to continue replaying. Over the years, I sunk hours and hours into experiencing everything this Mario Kart offered. Not only did I discover a new set of racetracks, but also an introduction to other fun additional modes the series had. Over time, I eventually developed some pretty solid skills, as the controls are generally good to get used to. The only control I struggled to get down while growing up was turbo boosting, but now it honestly feels smooth and simple to pull off thanks to practicing this mechanic way more in the newer entries later on. It's genuinely beneficial for quick speed boosts and helping me greatly with steady sharp turns and to avoid any bumps or slowdowns. A couple months ago, I completed a majority of the main modes and was rewarded with first place gold trophies, grade rankings, and accessing other unlockables. I recently added this game virtually into my Wii U, allowing me to re-experience everything again while also discovering some stuff that I never had before growing up. Mario Kart DS provides a great distinctive Mario Kart experience, not only with its addition of new tracks, modes, features, or other achievements, but for simply evolving handheld Mario Kart for the time. Super Circuit's big selling feature was being the first Mario Kart game released on the go, and while the game still provides some fun and was influential during the early 2000s, now the game has some noticeable drawbacks due to the GBA's limited hardware. This results in the tracks being designed through a 2D graphic view, similarly like the original Super Mario Kart tracks on the SNES. Mario Kart DS brings the 3D designed tracks from Mario Kart 64 and Double Dash to handhelds for the first time, presenting the mind-blowing capabilities of the DS hardware, bringing a home console Mario Kart experience to a small portable device. Not saying that tracks from Super Circuit are bad in any way, but DS's tracks are more visually detailed and in depth, making them a bit more realistic and appealing to drive through. I am aware that the DS graphics also show its age today, but compared to Super Circuit being the previous handheld Mario Kart, DS truly looks next-gen despite releasing only 4 years later. What's also innovative is the beneficial usage of the DS's bottom screen, which serves as your mini-map to see score placements or what's incoming, like players, items, obstacles, and even track shortcuts too. Although this doesn't change the gameplay drastically, having the extra screen to view is beneficial for not pausing or slowing down your gameplay on the top screen. Sometimes having a map on the same screen as your gameplay can look more cramped and not quite as detailed. The last mentioned hardware feature this entry took advantage of is customizing an emblem for your kart with the DS stylus, being a drawing that appears on any kart you choose. It's not the craziest thing in the world, but having custom features like this is super innovative, giving your driver some creative personality. I wish the newer games brought this feature back somehow, especially those with an already built-in touchscreen. The one downgrade in this entry was the character roster. This is likely due to the DS's kart space, but sadly many fan favorite characters didn't make the cut from Double Dash. However, we still have a majority of your typical iconic faces, including a few unlockables, being Daisy and Waluigi, returning from the last entry, along with two new unique additions being Drybones, a more underrated Mario enemy, and R.O.B, literally the robot toy accessory released for the NES back in the 80s. That on its own is pretty cool, as he was a rare Easter egg that the average person wouldn't have expected Nintendo to add into a Mario Kart game. It's too bad that R.O.B didn't return into the newer entries, outside as a vehicle in Mario Kart World. Speaking of karts, this game added a creative selection that came with each character, along with a few others to unlock on their own too. Growing up, I mainly used Yoshi and his egg cart, but to mention some other cool kart character combos, we have Mario in the B-Dasher, becoming his signature kart throughout the rest of the series. Luigi has a Poltergeist 4000 kart, being a vacuum sucker design inspired from his Mansion series. Toad has a Mushmallow kart, matching the color of his hat. DK has a Rambi Ride, a kart referencing the riding animal buddy from the Country series. Bowser has a Plane Clown kart. Wario has a Badass Brute sports car. Waluigi has a gold Rapus excavator truck for some reason. Drybones has a light bomber tank, and R.O.B drives his actual legs, being the most crazy ingenious design ever. Some other unlockable karts I also started using were the Shooting Star for its looks and lightweight, and the Light Zipper, being another smaller kart with a clean, modest look. I can honestly go on, but all these karts offer a variety of different creative styles and stats, along with any character you use. While some karts are locked to specific characters initially when playing, you could eventually access them all for any character, providing even more combinations for the best racing experience. In general, the track selection in this entry is pretty fantastic, as we not only get great new ones, but also a couple of retro ones returning from the older Mario Kart games. Mainly all the tracks here are fun with its design and theming, with some even referencing specific areas or worlds from other Mario games too. For the new tracks, we start with Figure 8 Circuit, which blends the traditional standard Mario Circuit theme into an actual car racing stadium. The track circular design is perfect for pulling off many turbo boosts as well. Yoshi Falls may be a small circular loop, but I do love the jungle waterfall theme with branching paths, especially this longer one giving you a challenge to drive across without falling off. Cheep Cheep Beach is a greatly underrated track, replicating a typical beach theme well. You drive on a boardwalk to boost off. Then you come by some standy water pits, a nice waterfront with a few obstacles, and a stunning trail at the end. Luigi's Mansion is another one of my favorites too, referencing the GameCube's infamous Luigi starring launch game. You drive throughout the mansion inside, then driving out you come across a path of gravestones, then to finish you plow through an open section with muddy physics and walking tree obstacles. Desert Hills is a pretty solid track too, with lots of pokies, fireballs, hilly slopes, bumpy turns, and a little shortcut to cut across near the beginning. Delfino Square is one of my most favorite tracks because of its similar replication of Mario Sunshine's hub world. Growing up, I always enjoyed this track for its vibrant city theme, with lots of branching paths, strategizing the best route. Of course, another highlight is the shortcut where you can mushroom across the muddy path of boxes, and also near the end when you can drive through a speed dash platform that can rise up in the air sometimes. Waluigi Pinball is infamously a fan favorite track for creating an immersive driving experience inside a pinball machine. You'll first blast into the machine itself, then driving down, you'll have to avoid some rolling obstacles and not bumping into the gated walls. Near the end, I really like the open section and strategizing the best way to avoid some more moving obstacles and rolling balls that can hit you randomly. The track also has a nice detailed Waluigi face plastered above the machine exit too. I honestly wasn't the biggest fan of Shroom Bridge when I was younger, but now I enjoy the track's underrated mountainous highway road theme, along with a bridge underpass near the end too. It's an appealing ride, but can provide a slight challenge in boosting around moving vehicles without getting hit or falling off the road's edge sometimes. DK Pass is a pretty cool mountainous snowy hill track that also provides some obstacles and lots of sharp turns to go down. It can sometimes be difficult to avoid crashing or falling off stage, but the track still provides one of the best snowy themes throughout the series, likely inspiring Mario Kart Wii's DK Summit track later on. Tick Tock Clock has one of the best creative themes in Mario Kart history, stemming from one of Mario 64's later worlds. Just another great track with moving clock parts to drive around, creating some more branching paths or obstacles. It may not be the most visually appealing, but a track with a time clock theme in Mario Kart will always stand out uniquely. This entry has a pretty underrated and fairly memorable Mario Circuit track too. Here you drive down a path to a pipe underpass with fire spewing piranha plants, along with having some sharp turns and enemy obstacles to deal with too. Airship Fortress is another creative banger. You drive onto a ship with lots of moving bullet bills, wrenches in the ground, and inside you must deal with some fire logs too before blasting out of the cannon back into a tower to go down the sharp turn leading back outside. Just another well-created track that's likely inspired from Super Mario Bros. 3's airship-themed levels. Wario Stadium in this entry is another well-designed track too, with many hilly slopes and muddy dash panels to drive through. This track was originally introduced in Mario Kart 64, but in this entry the track retains the similar racing stadium theme with a new route of various road patterns and obstacles, while also being reasonably shorter in length. Peach Gardens is another mad underrated track for its gorgeous and expansive garden aesthetic surrounding this big property of this castle. The track itself provides many interesting paths and turns to get around, like successfully driving either around or through the thick piles of grass and finding the best route to drive down the big open area with moving chain chomps. Also at the end you can drive along the castle too on the sidewalk. Bowser Castle here is one of my favorites in the series, as the track balances creativity and difficulty. You enter inside through a Bowser face, then you must roam around carefully to two branching paths that both lead to this area with a sharp turn, which will lead next outside to a moving log that can knock you off sometimes. Finally, you must drive through these moving platforms above lava to finish. Rainbow Road is another pretty creative masterpiece too. Despite not being quite as wacky and expansive as Double Dashes, this entry's track is still very well designed with its many twisty loops and sharp turns, providing a fair challenge in not bumping around or falling off. It's still a pretty mind-blowing Rainbow Road track, even for today's standards. While Super Circuit technically introduced the first set of retro tracks into the series by porting over all the courses from the OG Super Mario Kart, DS brings back a track from each prior entry and divides them into 4 cups, bringing the total track count here to 32 instead of 16. These tracks retain their originality, but with retextures or elements to fit in with the Nitro ones. Some of my favorite tracks include Yoshi Circuit for being a character-shaped roadway, Moo Moo Farm for its appealing theme, likely inspiring Mario Kart Wii's Moo Moo Meadows farm track later on, Banshee Boardwalk for its dark, spooky water dock pathway, Mushroom Bridge for its unique traffic bridge underpass highway, Frappe Snowland for its fun wintry theme, being surrounded by all kinds of snowy walls and little snowman obstacles too, Choco Mountain for being a long creative highway made in chocolate, and Luigi Circuit from Double Dash being a fun track with circular loops that intersect next to each other. The SNES tracks are on the more basic side, but we have some pretty solid themes, like Mario Circuit 1 and Donut Plains 1 being similar grassy roads, Koopa Beach 2 being your typical water theme, and Choco Island 2 being your chocolate-covered road. Personally, I will always have a soft spot for SNES Mario Circuit, as it was the first track I remember playing on my OG DS 15 years ago on Christmas morning. I also have a bit of nostalgia playing SNES Donut Plains 1 too, but along with SNES Mario Circuit, both tracks are fun for turbo boosting, along with having some shortcuts to discover as well. The other SNES tracks have great themes too, but can sometimes be difficult for putting up a good race. Koopa Beach has some deep water pits that aren't too forgivable, and Choco Island can slow you down in the muddy section, or when crashing into obstacles, which can be a pain to effectively avoid, even when turbo boosting sometimes. For Super Circuit, some standout tracks are Bowser Castle 2 for its lava theme, which contains some paths for avoiding hazardous pits, and Sky Garden for uniquely blending grass and cloudy theme well. The track has grown on me over the last couple of years too, providing some nice sharp turns along with a few fairly challenging shortcuts. Peach Beach is also another simple track with some fairly sharp turns, and this version of Luigi Circuit has another simplistic grassy road theme, but with rain puddles being your main obstacle while driving. Nintendo knocked these retro tracks out of the park for this entry. I will admit that some are not perfect, but they all provide some fun gameplay to experience, along with being surrounded by a whole variety of different themes too. However, the one retro track I have the least fun playing is Baby Park. While the theme is fine, the track itself is a small loop that lacks any interest in driving around. Originally in Double Dash, this track was known for its chaos throughout many short laps, but this version doesn't even have much of that, along with reducing the lap count too. First place here in general just feels hit or miss, making it feel luck-based to win, which is annoying when needing to achieve a high race placement. There are plenty of fun modes to race these tracks on. Your traditional Grand Prix mode returns, where you complete these starring cups through earning gold trophies, along with some sort of grade ranking too to unlock the rest. Continue to repeat this process for all engine classes, and you not only access all the tracks for other modes, but also a mirror mode class, which is basically a flipped 150cc class, making the tracks play a bit differently than normal. While unlocking all the tracks is beneficial, first place on all the cups are 2 for gaining the highest overall points. While I wouldn't say it was really difficult, the faster CPUs were far from simple, resulting in more efforts and mistakes that happened. Growing up, I achieved mainly gold trophies and a mix of letter and star rankings. Now I decide to go for all star rankings in every cup per engine class on my Wii U, which means achieving the highest amount of points through coming first place on every single track without too much error in performance. In prior entries, Grand Prix was all about winning gold trophies, but DS went the extra mile to add another ranking along with your trophy to encourage your very best, even to unlock some things. What really helped me achieve all this was keeping a steady pace during my races, all thanks to pulling off frequent turbo boosts for speed and mastering more difficult twisty turns to avoid bumps or crashes. This wasn't easy on some tracks, but I still managed to score first place through a couple of attempts. There were also a few close calls where I still managed to gain a star ranking on one of the cups despite a second place for one race. Another thing I focused on is using certain items wisely to block other ones incoming from ruining my shot of maintaining first place, which otherwise would have slowed me down, giving the second place driver the opportunity to get ahead. The one exception item that's more difficult to avoid is the blue shell, as the item's supposed to aim at first place drivers to balance out the game. These shells have constantly ruined my shot so many times at maintaining first placements in many Grand Prix races, but generally the game tends to balance them fairly well most of the time, averaging 1 to 2 times a race. To quickly mention, this entry didn't have a lot of new items, but there are a few additions like the bullet bill being an amazing speed booster when stuck in a low placement, and the blooper being one of the more useless ones sadly, as it just makes your screen partially dark for a few seconds, not really affecting your concentration. Overall, the selection's pretty solid, but I do wish some other cool additions like the giant banana, chain chomp, and giant Bowser shells from Double Dash returned. Another underrated race mode that focuses more on speed rather than competing against actual drivers is time trials. Growing up, I didn't really play this mode too often, but do remember some memories of casually trying out half of the tracks and thought of it being quite simple with not too much challenge and unlocking some personal ghosts. In reality, time trials takes much more effort than I ever thought to fully complete. Personally, I started to understand more about this mode in Mario Kart Wii, as I had to unlock some characters by beating a specific staff ghost time per track in order for an expert one to appear with an even faster time to beat. In this entry, the way staff ghosts appear is weird. Instead of them appearing from the start of each track to unlock faster ones, here you beat each track by a certain time on your own first to unlock the ghosts themselves. However, like Mario Kart Wii, this provided a fair challenge, as some tracks similarly took me a couple of tries to unlock some of these ghosts. Unlike in Wii though, the game doesn't tell you if the ghost is unlocked after getting a pretty fast time on a track, resulting in having to check through the bottom screen after reselecting the track that you've just completed on the menu. Despite some tracks being more of a struggle to gain fast times, it was all fun and satisfying to unlock all the ghosts. The only real challenge I haven't done yet is actually beating the staff ghosts themselves, as they are just as difficult as Mario Kart Wii's expert staff ghosts. Particularly, I believe you have to be a pro at snaking, which is constant non-stop turbo boost and playing every track, producing an insane amount of speed. Despite now being good at turbo boosting, this is on a whole nother level and will take me lots of time and practice to master. In fact, I was surprised that I was able to barely beat the ghost in Sky Guarded, which felt like total luck, so at least I will always be proud of that for now. One minor but unfair thing I discovered recently is the different amount of mushrooms I got on each track. What I later learned after completing most tracks is the amount of mushrooms you'll get is based on specific chosen carts. While some may think this choice is strategic, it's actually too restrictive compared to other entries allowing 3 mushrooms a track regardless of your cart. Anyway, I will revisit time trials again to fully unlock the staff ghosts on my DS and eventually try to beat some of the ghosts themselves. The best way for replaying the tracks is in verse mode. While you can also replay races in Grand Prix 2, this is more of a casual mode where you can customize your rules to your gameplay, including the difficulty of CPUs, selecting any track out of order, choosing the number of races to win, and optionally dividing into 2 teams of 4 racers. That option on its own was firstly introduced into this entry rather than just choosing to compete for individual points. You could also just play each track without any set wins to achieve, similarly like Super Circuit's Quick Run mode. Having these options made versus mode always great growing up, as I always craved more control on how I wanted to race, choosing some of my favorite tracks to play as many times as I wanted. Recently, I started playing more random races, which is an option that automatically picks a track out of order when you start and continues on after each race, providing more of a variety. While Super Circuit's Quick Run was the first solo verse race, this entry gives the player more choices with these additional options and features added in for any race, even without the restrictions of only being multiplayer exclusive too, unlike in previous console entries. Battle mode also returns in this game, and for the first time ever, it becomes available for single players, as this mode in prior entries was also multiplayer exclusive too. Unfortunately, the two new modes from Double Dash don't return. However, there's still your traditional balloon battle, and new to this entry is Shine Runners, which is simply collecting the most shine sprites to win. I played both game modes here frequently growing up. Balloon battle's fun for trying to be the last driver standing and defeating other players as balloons. Generally, I usually have a 50-50 chance of typically winning, but my main key for success is using your items correctly towards drivers, while also protecting yourself from incoming items. Another tip that always helped me is stealing other balloons carefully with a mushroom, or using some of my extra balloons in stock by blowing into the DS's microphone, which is honestly pretty cool and beneficial. Some battles may take some time, but winning feels very satisfying, especially solely for points, and having a time that doesn't run out also gives me more of a chance to fully eliminate players, unlike in the newer games. Balloon battle will always be fun, but Shine Runners is another banger too. Here, you simply collect the most shines to win, with being able to discover them well scattered throughout the map. Usually this mode does have a time limit that can eliminate those with the least amount of shines every couple seconds, encouraging you not only to collect as many of them, but also steal them from others with items. Winning generally feels more simple than around a balloon battle, but I still always enjoyed this mode for trying to collect as many shines as I can, especially compared to everyone else. Thank goodness they brought this back into later entries, despite replacing the shines with coins. The maps here are really visually appealing and fit well with driving around, despite being a small selection. Nintendo DS is the most creative one for driving on a literal DS system. TWiLight House has an underrated spooky map with lots of rooms to roam around, including the outside edges too. Tart Top has a Sweet Tooth theme where you can drive around and boost off this piece of cake, which can be fun for collecting shines or items. Palm Shore has a more simple island theme surrounded by water, but this map closely replicates one of Mario 64 DS's secret levels. The two retro tracks are pretty popular too, with N64 Block Fort being a fairly big map to roam around, surrounded by many connected tall buildings to drive on. And Double Dash's Pipe Plaza map has a creative gimmick of using specific pipes that can quickly teleport you from the ground to the top of the structure platform, or vice versa. Overall, I had fun with battle mode over the years and providing some other fun competition outside of your typical races. Also, like versus mode, I appreciate having some custom options too for your matches, although it's kinda lame that your driver's forced to only use the standard cart. Not saying the kart's bad, but why are all the other cool karts restricted here, unlike in the other modes? Mario Kart DS is well known for its single-player content, but there was also a way to play with others too through the DS's internet connection. Super Circuit did have multiplayer connections too, but this Mario Kart's multiplayer was much more memorable and popular in providing a better way of connecting to others wirelessly. I never played much myself until I got some connections going using my DS cart as a host lobby for any other DS or 3DS system joining in through two specific methods. The first can be with any copy that you own of the game. Second way uses DS Download Play for systems that don't have a copy of the game. Connecting to any game without owning it will always be such a mind-blowing feature, even to this day. Also, through connecting this way, you can exclusively use Shy Guy as a playable character, while the host or those connected through owning the game can access the rest of the roster. It's honestly disappointing that Shy Guy never got to be in the main game, as he at least would have been another cool addition to unlock or access. I had a fun time experiencing multiplayer for the first couple times ever. This feature was another example of how revolutionary Mario Kart DS was, being one of the best ways to market DS Download Play and evolve handheld multiplayer for the series. What's also revolutionary about Mario Kart DS was providing a way to play online for the first time in Mario Kart history. Despite not being able to experience it myself, it was another big selling feature at the time for presenting how evolved handheld gaming was truly becoming. Hopefully there will be an easier or better way of connecting to online one day, as I really want to experience it for myself. Mario Kart DS's online truly provided a game-changing way of connectivity, not only showing off the DS's power, but by making the series accessible to many groups of players no matter the distance. It was truly a next-gen feature that greatly continued later on in the newer entries. what made this entry truly shine is creating one of the best new single-player experiences to Mario Kart, Mission Mode. As indicated, this single-player exclusive mode adds bite-sized missions to complete in achieving a letter or number grade ranking similarly like Grand Prix. While a few missions contain some similarities to a typical race or time trial, most ones generally range from a whole variety of different objectives. These include driving through gated rings, collecting coins or item boxes, defeating enemies, driving backwards, or performing some turbo boost within a lap of a track. Some missions also can blend certain objectives together, like collecting coins or item boxes while driving backwards. Another cool one involves a typical race, but the track route is reversed. This mission likely inspired Nintendo later on to actually create some reverse tracks for newer entries like Mario Kart Tour and even Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Pack DLC. Mission mode may seem short and quick, but the fun challenge comes in completing each objective within a time limit, especially to get some sort of grade ranking. I also enjoy the progression too, as only the first level pack is unlocked from the start, encouraging you to complete those missions to unlock a literal boss to defeat in order for the next level pack of missions to become accessible. You'll eventually unlock a couple more of these level packs, providing you with more missions and bosses to complete. Growing up, it took me some time to fully complete the first level pack of missions as I struggled to turbo boost in 1.8. Eventually, when I was a bit older, I managed to unlock the rest of the missions with a mix of letter and star grade rankings. Many of these missions are a ton of fun and creative, but they also provide a good challenge in completing, especially fast enough to achieve a good ranking. Due to how many there are, I'm not going to be mentioning every single one individually, but a few of the hardest ones I struggled completing were 3-6 for green shells being a pain to accurately hit the moving Monty Moles, 5-2 for struggling to turn backwards and collecting the coins, leading to crashing into the snowman obstacles, giving me an immediate game over, and 6-7 for having to collect all the coins scattered out in tick-tock clock without getting hit by the moving handle obstacle. That one on its own is pretty time consuming, as getting hit can cause you to lose many of your coins you've collected. Some other missions, like 4-5 as an example too, have similar obstacles that can ruin your progress and coin collecting if not careful. I can't say what my favorite overall mission was, but a lot of them provided a fun challenge in completing all the different objectives, including some bosses too, with each one having different ways of beating them. Some involved using items, like mushrooms for knocking some big bullies into water, green shells for hitting 2 eye rocks, or 3 little Bob-ombs to defeat the King Bob-omb himself. Others didn't involve direct hits, but just beating them in a race while overcoming their hurdles, like Wiggler being super fast or Goomboss throwing obstacles on the road. Probably the most difficult one for me was in the 4th level pack, where I had to collect all the circular groups of coins while King Boo can get in my way and steal half of them at any point, resulting in tracking him down quickly to get them back and collect the rest to beat him. The other bosses provided some fair skill too, but this one took me the longest to strategize my route in collecting the coins successfully and steadily, as fetching King Boo for them can be a big time waster. Overall, I unlocked and completed everything on my DS. Or so I thought. Recently, on the Wii U, I decided to recomplete everything again with achieving a star ranking for every single mission throughout all 6 level packs. But after doing this, a 7th final level pack of missions were unlocked to my surprise. Despite half of those particular missions being more challenging, including the Wiggler boss I just mentioned, it was all satisfying to complete and really paid off all the extra hard work I put into achieving high star rankings in previous missions. This will be something I will love to do again on my DS, as it's totally worth playing and fully completing. Mission mode has proved that Mario Kart can offer a fun and satisfying single-player experience outside of your typical racing or battle modes, giving you a fun opportunity to learn and practice certain skills for your races through competing many of the objectives. To this day, this single-player mode has returned somewhat into the newer entries, like at the end of each cup in Mario Kart Tour, and also as P-Switch challenges in the new Mario Kart World's Free Roam mode too. I even discovered recently that the Mario Kart Wii channel had some tournament challenges which provided mainly similar mission mode objectives. With how influential mission mode has become, the single player experience was and will always be greatly inspired by Mario Kart DS.
Mario Kart DS is truly one of the best Mario Karts in the whole series, and definitely probably my favorite one for handhelds. Nostalgia bias aside, this game truly was revolutionary. It has loads of single player for the first time in the series, and it also has fantastic connection with its multiplayer and online, showing off the DS's capabilities and hardware. Thank you so much for watching this video. Comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more upcoming stuff on this channel. I will of course keep you guys posted. Just click on the post on my YouTube page and you will see everything there for any updates or upcoming videos. Feel free to express your own personal memories or experiences in playing Mario Kart DS. For me, this little game made my love for Mario Kart grow even more, truly influencing me to become the Mario fan I am today.